Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Monday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How you guys all doing? Hope you are all doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. We got a lot to discuss today, that's for sure. For those who are new here, my name is Reganelite. This is a Good Morning with myself, Reganelite. We go for about an hour long here, and on this 1 hour live stream, we cover the day's daily quote. We have a look at the weather and see what's happening, what's forecast, the weather today, maybe the next few days. And then we have a look at what's the media is really talking about. So we go to their websites such as The Guardian, Associated Press, that kind of thing. We have a look and see what their headlines they've got in them. And we share our thoughts on them. So I hope you guys enjoy today's show. Let me just see who we've got here in the chat today. Before we get going, Matty Von Erich, good morning to you. Sarah Davis, good morning to you. Ellie, good morning to you. Person impersonator there. Viper Scott, one of our moderators, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Wee Bud, good morning to you. Robert, good morning to you. Dave McGuinness, great show, my friend. Good morning to you. And guys, make sure you check out Dave McGuinness's show later on today at 4 o'clock as well. If you can attend, please do. Scott Hayes, good morning to you. Mel, good morning to you there as well. Right, let's get straight into it, guys, because there's quite a lot to talk about as well since our last live stream as well. So here's today's daily quote. Here it is, guys, just for reference here. Always show it to you guys. It's never my own. It's just what the calendar says, guys. It's just what the calendar says. That's all it is. So from W.C. Stone, this is today's daily quote. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. Very, very nice daily quote there for today. Tomorrow's one's a very nice one for Tuesday as well. A nice one for tomorrow as well there. Very, very nice indeed. Just a quick reference as well, guys. I still haven't set up the poll for our new friend behind me. Still a work in progress. So hopefully I will get a chance to do that this week. I'm hoping to do that as well. Also, as well, Rumble and Patreon video that's due to come out today will also be out at 12 o'clock. I recorded them this morning for you guys. I will record the rest of the week later on today. There will be no Rumble and Patreon videos next week because I am on holiday between Monday, pretty much from Monday to Friday. So there'll be no live streams at all next week. Maybe Friday afternoon, but that's about as best as you'll get for live streams, guys. Yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time there'll be no live streams next week at all, guys. So I'm just giving you heads up for that there. In terms of the before we get to the weather and whatnot, in terms of live streams this week, I'll be live again tonight at 8 o'clock for The Viewpoint. Plenty to discuss in terms of UK politics there. I'll also be live again tomorrow morning with another Good Morning show at 11 o'clock. No afternoon or evening live stream on Tuesday. However, I will have two live streams on Wednesday. We'll have Good Morning show. We'll have Prime Minister's Questions. And we will have the Watch Along show at 8 o'clock. And then on Thursday, this Thursday coming, myself and One Angry Pagan with the Eco Flake show on Thursday evening. So if you could join us for that, please do. And then on Friday, we'll have another Good Morning show there, just for reference there. So I just want to let you know, guys, know there. I should do a community tab post for that as well. Would make things a lot easier there. Right, let's go straight into the weather. See what the weather is. What am I doing? Do that, please. Thank you. There, Witchy Goth, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well, guys. Make sure you check out Witchy Goth's YouTube channel as well. Billy Kershaw, good to see you there as well, and anybody else who may be lurking in the chats. Here is our big beautiful planet. For reference, I'm using the bbc.co.uk/weather map. A link for it is in the description if you guys want to use it yourself here. Well, I'll set it to today at 6 o'clock just for reference here. So these are some of the temperatures that are forecast and storms here and there. You can see again, Yellowknife very chilly, 28 minus there, Anchorage -8, Churchill -16, very cold in Canada, Winnipeg -2, Chicago 0, New York -3, Nashville 16 degrees, Ottawa -13, Vancouver 6, Denver 17, San Francisco 13, San Diego 21, Miami 23, New Orleans 20, Mexico City 19, Kingston 29 degrees there. A bit further down into South America here, very warm temperatures and plenty of tropical storms as well there. La Paz at 17, temperatures as high as 31 in some parts of the South American continent there. So a fair share there. Moving across over to middle and southern Africa here. Temperatures as high as 28 degrees with some as low as 18 in some parts of the continent there. Moving a bit further, scrolling a bit further over here. One Angry Pagan, good to see you there, my friend. Hope you are doing well, guys. Check out One Angry Pagan's YouTube channel as well if you can. Again, myself and One Angry Pagan this Thursday for the Eco Flake show. Very much looking forward to that. And yes, Viper Scott has noted all the suggested names as well. I need to do a I need to set up a poll for that. I can't use YouTube polls because there's not enough lists there. So I need to use a website. So if anyone has a recommendation of a website I can do to make it, that's free and very easy to do, let me know. DM me on Discord. Be greatly appreciated. New Zealand, Auckland 19, Wellington 15 there. Australia, Perth 23, Melbourne 17, Alice Springs 24, Darwin 26 there. A fair share of wet and dry spells on Australia there. Port Vila 24 there. Singapore 25. Philippines 23 there. Bangkok 26. Colombo 25. Shanghai is 6 degrees there. Taiwan there at 14 degrees. Tokyo at 0 degrees there. Beijing at -1 degrees. Very cold there in parts of China there. A little bit further over to New Delhi at 13 there, Kuwait City 19, Riyadh 22, Tehran 11 there, Cairo 23 there. So some cold spells and then also some not too bad temperatures in other parts there. Let's just have a look at our friends up in Iceland. How are they doing today? It is 2 degrees for them today, guys. 2 degrees they are experiencing today. Let's zoom in to Europe and see what we've got temperatures wise here in Europe. Madrid and Lisbon, 11 and 15 respectively there. Plenty of rainstorms on the northern parts of Spain and Portugal there, as well as southern France. Pretty much a good chunk of France is suffering quite a rapid rainstorm there. Morocco getting a bit of rainstorm. There's actually really, really bad flooding taking place on the African country right now. Really, really bad flooding. Up to 10,000 people have had to be evacuated there. That's a short video coming out in the next couple of days there, which is already available for members already. If you guys want to check out any of those short videos coming out the next couple of days, are already available for top tier YouTube members. Tripoli 15, Tunis 13, Paolo 10, Rome 11, Nice at 12 there in Italy. Italy and southern France. Bern at 3 degrees. Zagreb at 8 degrees there. Taria at 11 there. Plenty of fair share of some snow and some rainstorms down there, but temperatures aren't so bad there. Athens 15 there. Istanbul 7 degrees there. As well, parts of northeastern Turkey getting their fair share of snowstorms there. Bucharest at -2, Chistu -11, Vienna 6, Prague 3, Berlin a very cold 0 degrees there. Warsaw very chilly at -9, and even worse in Ukraine, Kiev. Thoughts and prayers, of course, for our Ukrainian friends and allies at -16 degrees as they continue to hold off the Russian aggression every single day. Volgograd -14, Moscow -9, Riyadh -13. With St. Petersburg there as cold as -6 and Oslo -9. Just before we get to the UK, Brussels at 7 degrees and Paris at 10. These are what temperatures we are forecasting at later on today. Temperatures 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, and 9 degrees is what we're forecasting, with some showers here and there scattered around. If I pull it back to 12 o'clock, this is what this forecast within the less than an hour's time is what the BBC is forecasting here. So some of you may be experiencing some rainstorms, some of you just got some dry spells there. But moving a bit further on, we can see some of those. This rainstorm that we saw on the southern England here looks like it'll be pouring in, but as well as some scattered showers here and there. Not really too big storms. It's more like just scattered showers here and there. So you'll probably get some drizzle somewhere, shape or form, wherever you are today in the UK. That's as good. That's what I'll probably say. Unless, of course, if you're on the southwest England, there's a good chance you'll probably get hit with some high winds as well as rain there. Doesn't look like there's any forecast of any snow that looks like it's going to be. Looking overnight here, this is what we're looking at overnight, Monday night tonight into Tuesday morning here. Temperatures as low as parts as 6 degrees there. Temperatures Manchester, Cardiff, London, Dublin, all 8 degrees. Belfast 7 there. So not as bad as some other temperatures have been, but it looks like those rainstorms, plenty of them still around in northern England, southern Scotland, most of Scotland there, as well as Northern Ireland there, respectively there. Moving a bit further on into Tuesday. Tuesday morning here, temperatures again not too bad, not too much the same. Looks like there will be some snow falling on the Highlands of Scotland there, and looks like that rainstorm is not going anywhere anytime soon. So you're going to get your fair share of drizzle if you're living in Scotland, guys. And it looks like another bit of sort of storm is going to be coming in as well. Here, it looks like, yeah, parts of Northern Ireland and again parts of Wales and southwest England are going to be experiencing their fair share of rain. So it looks like it's going to be, if I'm honest, it's probably going to be quite one. It's going to be one of those miserable weeks where things are just not going to go right in terms of the weather here, as is what's happening in number 10 Downing Street right now. Moving a bit further on into tomorrow evening here. Temperatures, London 11, Cardiff 10, Manchester 9, Dublin 9, Belfast 8, Edinburgh at 6 degrees there. So not too bad temperatures in some parts. Would like to be warmer in others. But yeah, fair share of rain and storms pretty much all day Tuesday, looks like in most parts there. And you can see that snow still in the Highlands there. Going overnight on Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. This is what the BBC is forecasting here. So it looks like overnight, temperatures are staying around 9 and 10 degrees in most parts of the UK here. Belfast at 7, Edinburgh and 6 there, with some fair share of snow up in the Highlands, and other parts of Scotland going to be experiencing that as well. Some rainstorms here and there. You can see parts of Midlands and Northern England going to be experiencing some of that rain, as well as southern Wales, and parts of southwest England there, may get some scattered showers, as well as some bits maybe in Northern Ireland overnight there. Looking into Wednesday morning here. Yeah, this big chunk. There's going to be quite a bit of a snowstorm dropping in parts of Scotland there, so just be aware of that for Wednesday there, not just in the Highlands there. Temperatures are staying roughly around about the same. It looks like we might have a bit of a dry day for most parts here on Wednesday, but there will be some showers here and there from the looks of it here. And I say that, and all of a sudden this rainstorm looks like it's going to be moving from southern all the way down from southern Scotland into northern England there from the looks of it here. Temperatures reaching as high as 12 degrees in some parts there. But later on in that day, it looks like, yep, any chance of a full dry day in some parts of the UK is going to be disparaged. Maybe in Northern Ireland you might get away with it. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be some rainstorms here and there and about on Wednesday there. Quick look at Thursday before we look at the news here. It looks like this snowstorm is getting bigger and bigger here, according to the forecast, is what they're looking at here. Yeah, pretty much looks like it's going to be engulfing the whole of Scotland. We'll have to see a bit more closer to the time, guys. But yeah, expect snow next couple of days, guys. If you're up in Scotland, expect some snow, because that is what they are forecasting here. And it looks like that snow may be dissipating eventually overnight on Thursday down into southern England there, and it'll slowly dissipate there. Is what they are forecasting there. So it looks like, let me just have a quick run. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a dip in temperatures again. Yeah, Friday, Saturday. Oh, what's it? So Saturday we're going to get really... Okay, so next weekend, guys, looks like we're going to get ice cold temperatures here. It's what they're forecasting for next Saturday here. So just be aware of that. So yeah, at the moment our temperatures are as high as 11 degrees in some parts, but temperatures, yeah, overnight on Friday to Saturday night, yeah, we're going to have a real drop in temperatures, guys. So yeah, be aware of that coming up this weekend, guys. Snow on Thursday then. Well, that's what they're forecasting here. This is what they're forecasting. This is what they're forecasting for now. So we'll keep an eye on it as things progress there. But yeah, the weekend, guys, is going to be super cold. So please be aware of that. If it's cold now to you, it's going to get even colder further on here. Right, let's get started with the news. Let's go straight into it, guys. Let's not waste any time here. I'm just going to click the refresh button on this here. And I've just happened. Keir Starmer's head of communications, Tim Allen, has stepped down. The director of communications at Downing Street, it says, I've decided to stand down to allow a new number 10 team to be built. This has just literally happened in the last 10 minutes or so, guys. So let's have a look at the live feed here. Tim Allen, who works as Alistair Campbell's deputy when Tony Blair was in opposition after first becoming Prime Minister, only joined Downing Street in September last year. It was a surprise appointment because Allen had been out of government for more than 25 years, mostly running his own PR and corporate affairs company. Clearly, in his 5 months in number 10, Allen was unable to achieve any decisive improvement in Keir Starmer's rating. So it looks like, it's not just Morgan McSweeney here. Tim Allen's left his post, stepped down. Yeah, it's just literally happened. Just literally happened in the last 10, 12 minutes. So what do I honestly think about this, guys? Here's what I think is happening right now, okay? I think what the Prime Minister is doing, so at the moment, his position is very clearly quite untenable. And the resignation and the removal of Morgan McSweeney was one that everyone was very, very happy to hear about, because he was he was the one, obviously, who pushed for Peter Mandelson. But not just that. It's not just that. It's because he was very much pushing out the opinions and voices of people on the left of the Labour Party. The left of the Labour Party, and also very much appointing very much the kind of politics that were not beneficial to the British public as a whole. In particular, I don't know if it was directly Morgan McSweeney's idea, but the policy of obviously changing the benefits entitlement system for disability people was one of the most outrageous policies that I've ever seen come out of a Labour government. I don't know if that decision was directly something Morgan McSweeney, but even at that time, we knew that a lot of people were angry with Morgan McSweeney and some of the advice coming out of him. The fact that now we have the head of communications, Tim Allen, stepping down here, I think what they're trying to do is get rid of all the people that were around Keir Starmer advising him on things to do, and get a new team around him. Some that will be a lot more favourable, and perhaps one or two perhaps be more favourable and colourable to appease some of the maybe centre left and parts of the Labour Party, to appease some backbenchers there as well. And I think, perhaps maybe, I don't know if he's going to issue a cabinet reshuffle as well. Perhaps maybe that might be something as well. But this is all kind of like buying time for him, because at the moment, I don't see him staying as Prime Minister to the end of this year. Can I see him surviving up to local elections? Yes. But can I see him surviving at the end of this year? Absolutely not, as of right now. I don't think he's going to go in the next couple of days, because I think the fact that, because based on this, it's not that Tim Allen says, it's not here that Tim Allen said this basically, I've lost confidence in the Prime Minister sort of thing like that. No. Keir Starmer is doing a reshuffle behind the scenes. And last night, he was preparing to do a major speech on the steps of Downing Street last night, and then it changed about an hour later, according to politics UK politics on Twitter, and their sources are very, very reliable. So it may have been last night that Keir Starmer was actually considering stepping down last night, like he was going to make that decision, and perhaps maybe someone talked him out of it, or maybe have changed difference. The other thing in all of this as well is that the wider context of this, right? So the right and moral thing in all of this is Keir Starmer should step down. You all agree with me that from a moral perspective, from the fact that we're talking about Peter Mandelson, who had links to Jeffrey Epstein, that Keir Starmer knew about those links, from a moral perspective, from that perspective, it makes right that he should step down on that, right? Yeah. If we're thinking about this from a moral perspective, from right and wrong, he should step down. He should do. But there's the other problem, and I'm sure you guys all know this is what will happen. Yeah. Keir Starmer steps down. They have a leadership challenge. Whoever, doesn't matter who the person is, they're going to get the same message that the Conservatives got time and time again, and that is, we will want a general election. Everyone will be calling for a general election, and you will never hear the end of it. You will hear it consistently from Reform Russia, you'll hear it from the Conservatives, you'll hear it from Lib Dems, Greens, and whatnot. Yeah, you will constantly hear that. If Keir Starmer steps down and a new person comes in and becomes Prime Minister, it's not right, It's not right that we do not have a say on who should be the leader of the UK. Okay, it's just not. And Labour, I don't think Labour would put themselves in that situation. I don't think Labour want to put themselves in that situation because they are absolutely bloody terrified of a reformed Russian government. And I generally believe that if Keir Starmer does step down, we will have a reform UK government by the end of the year. We will have a general election. Because I do not see how Labour can appoint a new leader without the people not having a say on it. And if and I can't see how Labour can spin it in any way, shape, or form when they're literally trying to be different from when they try to portray themselves as different from the Conservatives. I don't see how they can spin that. So I don't know what they're going to do. So the question is, do I want is Starmer stepping down morally right? Yes. But do I want, at the end of this year, a reformed Russian government in Westminster? Not really, no. I don't really want that. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's going to happen eventually, isn't it? Or we're going to have a coalition of Conservatives and Reform, which will be terrifying as well, because one thing I did not want is a reformed Russian government or a right-wing coalition in government when we have Donald Trump in the White House, because it will just literally destroy any relationship we have with Europe. All the work that Labour have done since they've come in to rebuild our relationship with Europe and ease things from us since Brexit, all of that will be thrown down the toilet again. That will not be good for us at all. So, I mean, I'm not going to bullshit you guys. I'm in two minds about Keir Starmer stepping down just because I don't want a reformed Russian government. That's my general honesty there. Yes, he should step down, but I also don't want it to lead to a general election. Which, I mean, you guys can speak from Scotland's perspective for yourselves. Do you guys want a general election? Would you guys want a general election this year if it came to? And I don't know if people from Wales would want a general election as well. I personally don't want one this year if Keir Starmer steps down, just because it would bring in reform. And I just think it will just do harm to do a great deal of harm there. Stephen Banker, good morning to you. Starmer stepping down does not mean a snap election. Snap election is not what we need right now. Yeah, but the pressure will be immense. And here's the thing, yeah. If they don't call a general election, they're a bunch of hypocrites. Every single person who will defend Labour, who will try to justify that there shouldn't be a general election, are nothing more than a bunch of hypocrites. You're all a bunch of hypocrites if you say that they shouldn't have a general election. Why? Well, because we were all calling for it when the Conservatives kept switching leaders every 5 minutes. So you can't say, oh, the Conservatives should call a general election because we didn't elect them, but when Labour changed their leader, we can't have one. Sorry, but that's just being hypocritical. You know, I'm just pointing out the facts. You know, everyone on this side was saying when the Conservatives were in government and they kept changing leader, we didn't get to have a say whatsoever in it. We didn't have a say in Liz Truss. We didn't have a say in Rishi Sunak until we finally called a general election. I don't want to have that situation again with Labour. Because again, it once again feeds into the narrative to the British public that once again, we are being denied our voice. We're being denied our say in what's going on. So, well, we're going to be talking about this again tonight, I'm sure. England's poorest areas have 70% more vape shops and bookmakers than wealthier ones there. I have done a short video on this. But I will just give my I will just add to this. This is really it is quite depressing that the majority of shops on the high street that I see are either charity shops, bookkeepers, or like there are some cafes. Like I'm very lucky that down the road where I am, there is a one or two cafes there, which is good. There are how many bookies down the road do I have? I think there's two bookies down the two bookies, at least two bookie shops down the road where I am. A bunch of them are charity shops. We have a Tesco's. We're lucky we have an Iceland. We have an Iceland as well. There we have a Savers, which is kind of nice, which is very dandy considering it, considering the town centre is about 20-minute walk from here. There's plenty. You always get your kebab shops and whatnot there as well. I obviously I'm just speaking from down the road from where I live. But obviously, if you guys want to add your own context to this, I do feel like there's not enough choices. That's another thing we don't have around here is a gym. You have to travel to go to a gym around where I am as well. So yeah, this is definitely problematic for sure. Blame me what the UK papers say about Morgan Sweeney quits over Mountain FC scandal. Pulling up the drawbridge, Alf Dubs criticised Shabima Mahmood's plans for child refugees. Labour peer who came to the UK as a refugee says some ministers are trying to show they won't just do things because of their background. Shabima Mahmood, the Home Secretary whose parents migrated to the UK from Pakistan, is facing suggestions from a Labour veteran Labour peer that she is pulling up the drawbridge once inside when considering the plight of refugee children trapped abroad. Yeah. Keir Starmer's government's facing pressure for Labour MPs after announcing plans for the biggest shake-up of asylum laws in 40 years, including the suspension of family reunion visas. Look, I've said this before and I've said this again. It doesn't matter how ruthless Labour are when it comes to asylum seekers, when it comes to migrants, when it comes to whatever policies they introduce. It makes no difference. You are not going to change the minds of these reform voters from switching from them. Yeah, Labour, Reform Russia are promising their voters that they will deport migrants on the spot straight away, no excuses. They are promising that, and people actually think they're going to deliver that. People think they're going to deliver that. Ministers have rejected attempts by Dubs and refugee charities to make it easier for children seeking asylum from abroad to apply to join families in the UK. One has said that the more safe and legal routes will be open for refugees once law and order has been restored to the UK borders. What do you mean? I mean, this might shock Shabima Mahmood, but we're an island surrounded by water. We don't have a land border with Europe. Obviously, she must not know about her geography. In an interview with The Guardian's Dubs, who serves as an MP for Battersea and as Northern Ireland Minister during the Good Friday negotiations, says he was not surprised that Home Secretary, who were the children of migrants such as Mahmood, Priti Patel, Suella Braverman and James Cleverly, had become hardline Home Secretaries. Yeah, it's quite shocking. Quite shocking. They were children of migrants. What a change, guys. What a change. Some people believe you pull up the drawbridge and once you get inside, politics is a tough old business. Some may want to demonstrate that they're not going to just do things because of their background, he said. Quote, I argue that the cause of human rights should not depend upon the actual background of the individual put forward the argument. It should be on the merits of the argument, he said. After Mohammed had pulled up the drawbridge on child refugees, Dubs says it looks like it. Yeah. It's very, very hard. It's very, very cold. It's just, for me, it's not about... For me, it's not about right or wrong. For me, it's just trying to appeal to voters that aren't appealing to them. That's the only thing I see out of this when it comes to immigration. They're just trying to appeal to the hard righters, and it's just not working. It's just not working for me. Labour are looking at consultations for political parties. How will reform PLC measure up? I think, yeah, like I said, I think Labour are trying to reshuffle themselves at the top. I wouldn't be surprised if he orders a cabinet reshuffle as well. How much of that? Maybe he'll do that as well, perhaps. Good morning, Roger Devine, and see Dizzy there. Hope you guys are doing well. Linda as well. Good morning to you. I hope I haven't missed anyone else looking in the chats there. What else have they got here? Let's just have a look, see what else. Here, expert sound alarm over UK exports to a firm linked to Russian war machine. But we don't say anything about what about no headline of expert sound alarm over UK exports to firms linked to Israel's war machine in Gaza and West Banks. Nope, we don't have that. We don't have that, guys. Nope. what happens to Starmer's speech this morning. He pulled out of it last night. There was like I said on Twitter, there was an announcement that he was going to do a speech, and then an hour later they pulled out of it. So I don't know if everyone got the memo this morning about that. I don't know if they reiterated that we were going to do another speech and then pulled out. No idea. Sky's to be glued to number 10 light now. Yeah, I mean, I looked at that live feed, Pagan, and I thought, like, unless they're putting a podium outside number 10, the podium outside number 10, like, yeah, let's just, like, not... Unless they put a podium outside number 10, that's the only time where I think he's resigning. But I don't think he's doing that, guys. I don't think he's doing that yet. UK expand Hong Kong visa scheme in the wake of Jimmy Lai's prison sentence. I mean, it's good for Hong Kongs who need to flee the country because they're going to lose. If they haven't already realised that they've lost their democracy, they need to leave now. And it's good that they've got an option to come to the UK there. I just feel like it'd be nice if we actually had safe and legal routes for other victims and not just what's happening in Hong Kong right now. You know, I'm just pointing that out there. Like I'm happy about that, but I kind of wish we're doing other things as well. Schizophrenic optics may have caused hundreds more UK deaths than first thought. And 300,000 children wait 10 years wait for settled status under UK plans, said the IPPR. 300,000 children, guys. Right, let's have a look and see what other stories that are taking place. Guys, if you want to financially support me in the work that I do, you can either join the membership, YouTube membership for as little as 99p, or you can leave a super chat down below and help me reach today's super chat goal if you guys want to support me that way as well. I guarantee your comment will be read out if you do leave a super chat as well. I don't think so either, says Pagan. Yeah, I don't think he's leaving. I don't think he's leaving yet. No, I don't think he's leaving. I think that second announcement of another person stepping away sounds to me like they're doing a reshuffle behind the scenes. That's what it looks like to me. Front of the Associated Press, UK leader Starmer fights for his job as Epstein revelation spark leadership crisis. Yep, so it's making international headlines here because Keir Starmer's on the ropes, as we know. Prince Williams and Princess Catherine expressed deep concerns for the Epstein victims. I mean, like, it's good. It's nice for them to speak out about that, but yeah, it's not really changing. Not really going to change the situation. Bad Bunny brought Puerto Rico's history and culture to a revolutionary Super Bowl show. I have not seen the Super Bowl show, but the halftime show, but my understanding was it was very, very positive from what a lot of people have said, and a great representation of Puerto Rico and its for Puerto Ricans out there. A lot of people very happy about it. The fact that Trump had to complain about it on Truth Social says a lot about him. So, but most people that I've listened to online and whatnot were very happy with that. Don't watch the Super Bowl. Not interested in me personally, but yeah, I thought that was Bad Bunny's very popular in America. FBI concluded Jeffrey Epstein wasn't running a sex trafficking ring for Powerful Men Files show. If you want to know more about that story, you can check it out at 12 o'clock on Patreon, free to watch there. So quite a long video, but if you guys want to look into that, you can look at that on Patreon for free. Link for Patreon is in the description. Seahawks beat Patriots in Super Bowl with dominant showing of defense. Congratulations to you guys. US Olympians speak up about politics at home, face online backlash, including from Trump. Migrants languish in US detention centers amidst dire conditions and prolonged waits. Yeah, they're being treated like really inhumane. Spent 45 days at Alligator Alcarez in the immigration holding center in Florida, where detainees have reported worms in their food. Toilets like flush and overflowing sewage, mosquitoes and other insects and everywhere. In the past 5 months, the 33-year-old asylum seeker has been in an immigration detention camp at the Fort Bliss Army Center in El Paso, Texas, where 2 migrants died back in January. I wasn't aware people died there. In which many have the same conditions, according to human rights groups. Hernandez said he had asked to be returned, but was told that he had to see a judge. After nearly 7 months of detention, he was hearing scheduled for February 26. Prolonged detention has become more common in President Donald Trump's second term, at least partly because a new policy generally prohibits immigration judges from releasing detainees while their deportation case wind through a backlogged courts. Many, like Hernandez, are prepared to give up any effort to stay in the United States. Came to this country thinking it would help me. I've been detained for 6 months without having committed a crime, he said in a phone interview at Fort Bliss. It's been too long. I'm desperate. The Supreme Court ruled in 2001 that immigration and customs enforcement cannot hold immigrants indefinitely, finding that 6 months was a reasonable cap. When the number of people in ICE detention toppled 70,000 for the first time, 7,252 people have been in custody for at least 6 months in mid-January, including 79 held for more than 2 years, according to agency data. That's more than doubled to 2,849 who were at ICE custody at least 6 months in December 2024, the last full month of Joe Biden's presidency. The Trump administration is offering a plane fare and $2,600 for people who leave the country voluntarily. Yet Hernandez and others are told they can't leave detention until seeing a judge. So you have some people who are so desperate to get out of the situation that they will leave, but they can't. But they're being told that they can't leave unless they see a judge here. Or some of them being screwed here. Like, you have to remember as well, a lot of them have not been able to see an attorney, not been given any human rights, any human rights whatsoever. Many of them just literally been snatched off the street, or some of them have had, allegedly, their data forged as well. Obviously, many US citizens who have been put in this situation do end up finding themselves released quite quickly, most US citizens, but obviously those who aren't US citizens, regardless of whether they're working or not, a lot of them just end up in this situation here. I don't understand why I'm here. I'm ready. Are you telling me they don't understand why I'm here and ready to be deported? That's an experience I've never seen before. A Chinese man had been held for more than a year without seeing an immigration judge, even though he told authorities he was ready to be deployed. In the past, Huiga said she encountered cases like this once every 3 or 4 months. So even though they're only supposed to allow, they can't hold them for more than 6 months, right? There's some of them who are being held longer than that. The Department of Homeland Security does not address questions from the Associated Press about why more people are being held longer than 6 months. That's because they don't care what the Associated Press is, because they're like a left wing media outlet or whatever they want to say. But they don't answer tough questions. They only answer softball questions, and this is a tough question for them. Yeah, so you got people who basically are saying, like, they're prepared to leave. They're prepared to leave, but they're not giving them the opportunity to here, which is absolutely horrible. And like I said, they're in inhumane conditions, because like in the UK, when it comes to home asylum seekers, you have these private contractors who are given big contracts here to look after people, and they want to spend as little money as possible. So when it comes to giving them giving them a fair treatment and whatnot, they don't want to treat them like humans. They want to give them the bare minimum. The bare minimum is what they want to do. That's generally it. Japan's Prime Minister looks to translate her election gains into a new conservative shift. Venezuela's opposition leader Machado says a close ally was kidnapped hours after prison release. I've actually got a short video on that as well. Why some women choose Galentine's over Valentine's and how they might celebrate. There. Fan shows reaction as Von crashes out a ski race there. Bad Bunny performs at the halftime Super Bowl. Any other interesting stuff here? 1964, the Beatles first performed on the Ed Sullivan Show. 1964. Iran sentences Noble Lamarif Nargis to 7 more years in prison. We already seen that story there, the FBI one. Somalia welcomes its first bowling alley as the middle class and dystopian returnees grow. Somalia is showing signs of revival from decades of conflict, welcoming its first bowling alley in the capital. That's awesome. That's fantastic for Somalia. You know, it's not just a place where they can bowl, but it's another place where communities can come together. Especially in a country that has a lot of problems. It's very good for its youth, there. So I'm very happy to see that. Very happy to see that as well. Let me just give this a quick refresh. What they got here? Yeah, so we know about Starmer's Director of Communications. Lonely Starmer does looks like he doesn't own his own mind. Shocked, sad, angry, betrayed, let down Gordon Brown on former Minister Peter Mandelson. PM battles for survival. Labour MPs urged Starmer to reveal if he saw Peter's warning about Mandelson's Epstein link there as well. Any other stories they have? More than 100 flood warnings issued as further rain forecast. So it looks like we might have some flooding issues coming. Yeah, because we've got quite a lot of rain this week. So yeah, we could find ourselves with some severe flooding in parts of the UK. So be prepared for that. There, millions more Britons could be affected by salary sacrifice changes, pension expert says. D-Day veteran who never thought of himself as a hero dies at age 100. Rest in peace, sir. 100 years. Rest in peace, sir. Rest in peace. Man arrested after student found dead at university accommodation. Get kids back into books by reflecting on modern Britain in school reading campaign says. If you want to get kids back into books, you need them to see you less on your mobile phone. It's not just about it's also about how parents portray themselves in front of their kids as well. So it's not just a teacher thing, but it's a parent thing as well. That's what I would say there. Bad Bunny, what about Silly Ducks? Yeah, Silly Ducks there. My brain hates me, says Ellie. Tim Allen definitely out. Yeah, Director of Communications definitely gone. Yeah, he's definitely gone. That's in multiple outlets, not just Sky News. Yeah, they're all reporting on it. So it literally happened 10 minutes before I came on here. Where is? Sorry, I'm just looking for my. Oh, for some reason, I've misplaced that one. Okay, that's a bit odd. Let's have a look at Al Jazeera here. The most critical since 1967 here. Israel moves to expand West Bank powers have been slammed. So, yeah, this is a story that's going to be... I don't want to touch too much on it because I've kind of covered it quite a bit on Rumble, which is a video going to be coming out at 12 o'clock on the Rumble channel. If you guys want to check that out, link is in the description. But essentially, they're basically looking to gain more power and authority in areas A and B, which are supposed to be in the West Bank, which are supposed to be... Well, Area A is supposed to be Palestinian Authority control, and Area B is supposed to be joint control, both Israel and Palestinian Authority. But they're looking to basically seize some of that power to themselves, which means gives them more carte blanche to annex more of the West Bank. I think it's pretty clear that the two-state solution is pretty much dead and buried at this point, and you're just seeing more and more Palestinians find themselves pushed out as a result of what's happening there. Palestine requests Arab League meeting over Israeli measures threatening the West Bank. Are the Arab League going to do anything? I don't know. Well, the US are not doing anything about it. We know that. Tools of siege, Israel punishing control of Gaza movement. How reconstruction became Israel's new weapons of silence transfer in Gaza. 2 babies among 53 dead or missing after a boat capsized off Libya. That's terrible. It's people traveling from Libya trying to get into the from the Mediterranean into Europe. Epstein pressed billionaire media mogul to influence coverage, files reveal. That's not a surprise. I don't think anyone of us should be surprised by that headline. Won't be silenced. Thousands protest Israel's president's Australia visit. Netanyahu's to meet Trump in the US to discuss Iran, says Israel's prime minister. So he's going to meet Trump in the White House again. There. So those are some of the stories there. Sydney police use pepper spray. Scuffle breaks out. Pro-Palestine protests in Australia. Yeah, because they don't want him there. They don't want him there, guys. To be fair, I don't kind of blame them. Don't blame them. Let's just refresh this a second. Yep, Tim Allen's quits. Starmer's procurement is dire. Now he faces a future without top aid. Universities told to report foreign interference on campus to MI5. University bosses have been told by ministers to report threats of foreign interference directly to the government and security forces. Skills Minister Jackie Smith says UK universities have become a prime target for foreign states and hostile actors. She said the government did not take this lightly and will spend $3 million on measures including new security platforms for vice-chancellors and designated security leaders at universities to report suspicious approaches or interference. It comes after senior leaders at 70 universities attended a briefing with MI5 Director General Sir Kin McCallum to discuss what interference might look like, such as censoring research and intimidating staff. A report published last August said that Chinese students in the UK were being pressured to spy on classmates. I remember that story. The UK China Transparency, the UKCT, think tank said a survey of Chinese studies academics has found reports of Chinese government officials warning lecturers to avoid discussing certain topics in their classes. Some academies also reported intimidation by visiting scholars and other Chinese officials, as well as by staff at Confucius Institute. These institutions are partnership organizations linking Chinese and UK universities with a Chinese government agency providing funding. They promote Chinese culture and language on UK campuses, but have been criticized over alleged ties to the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese embassy in London at the time called the UKTC report finding groundless and absurd, adding that China respects freedom of speech in the UK and elsewhere. Meanwhile, in November, BBC News reported how a campaign of harassment and intimidation took place at Sheffield Hallam University in an attempt to shut down an academic research into allegations of forced labour among the Uyghur Muslims in the Xinjiang region of China. Yeah, because that's still happening as well, which is something I don't talk a lot about there. Laura Murphy, a professor of human rights and contemporary slavery, said at the time that the university had negotiated directly with a foreign intelligence service to trade my academic freedom for access to the Chinese student market. We do need to protect them from foreign influence, but how much of that foreign influence are they actually getting in campuses? Only they can say there. Only they can say there. Government could be forced to release more than 100,000 Mandelson documents. It hasn't been released yet, has it, the documents? They still haven't released the documents yet. I believe we're still waiting on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Friends left in tears over 8K rental scam. Oh, my God. 2 childhood friends said they were left in tears after handing over £8,000 for a North London rental flat that turned out to be a short-term holiday let. Sarah and Amy Not the Rare signed a rental agreement for a flat in Chapnell Market, Islington, after an in-person viewing, but arrived on the day they were supposed to move in. They find they'd actually been shown a holiday let. The pair from Surrey and Hampshire are among 20 roughly people to have been scammed using the same property the BBC understands. I went into the property with my mum with all my belongings. I knocked on the door and no one came. She added, I had never heard this sort of thing happen. I didn't understand how it could happen. We were so excited to live together, we packed our bags and moved in. We were fortunate to have a family home to move back into. Sarah and Amy said they'd been looking to move into property for a little while. They found a property listing for a good prayer. The pair were directed to a letting agent and booking an in-person viewing. In order to secure the property, they later offered to pay a 6-week deposit and a 3-month rent up front, totaling about £8,000. When they arrived to pick up the keys, Sarah said she waited for an hour before a cleaner opened the door, telling them that the flat was in fact a holiday let. The pair are in touch with other people who claim that they handed over money for the same property and have called for others to be aware of sophisticated fraud. They said the people they spoke to in person and interacted with over the phone appear legitimate, and that the process they went through mirrored exactly what tenancy process looked like. Said they later found that the people who had scammed them had stolen identities of both the landlord and the property and a letting agency in order to carry out the scheme. Oh my God. Jesus. That's really bad. They've been scamming people because they come across as legitimate. If a scammer decides to rent a property for a week and pack in appointments, in theory, he could be seeing a person an hour. They will do everything they should be doing, and it's really hard to tell whether you're being scammed or not. Our advice is take a step back. Generally, landlord and agent will not put pressure on you. Even so, they ask you if it isn't a scam, why they are doing it. Later this year, our landlords will also have to register to a database which will allow renters to check that homes are registered, who they have been told they are registered to. Yeah, that's a good thing as well. Spokesperson report for us has received the report. Yeah, then the chance of them getting that money back is very unlikely. But £8,000, guys, that's life saving. That's such a lot of money. £8,000. That's horrible. I really feel for them, and other people have fallen for that, because it's like from reading that, it seemed very, very genuine, and they just didn't know. They just didn't know, guys. Good morning, John and Benjamin. I hope you guys are doing well. That's plain evil. It is plain evil. Like, they scammed them out of £8,000, and they've walked away scotch-free. Reganelite, that's lies. All Chinese groups are linked to the CCP. Remember, a Chinese police station in Glasgow, Manchester, London, harassing Chinese people in the UK. Thanks for that info, Viper Scott. How long are you supposed to wait for a reply on email? Getting nervous I won't get when I need to be able to do the march at all. Get a will. I wish I could help you there, Mel, but it depends. Unfortunately, when it comes to a response from emails, like everything, I'm sorry about you have that issue. Got about 9 minutes left, guys. If anyone wants to join the YouTube membership or drop a super chat, it'll be greatly appreciated as well. A reminder, I will be live later on today at 8 o'clock as well. Cardiff Airport, £205 million handout challenged by Bristol. What's that about? A planned £205 million subsidy of Cardiff Airport will be challenged by Bristol Airport at tribunal today. Lawyers for Bristol Airport expect to argue that the size of the Welsh Government subsidy is unprecedented in UK aviation and a breach of competition rules. The government will respond to a tribunal, but has previously defended its 10-year plan to invest in the airport, which has been owed by ministers since 2013. The Competition Appeal Tribunal is expected to last 2 days. Sorry, someone's just entered the house. I think I know who it is, but I'll have to check after, guys. That person might be gone by the time I'm finished. In April 2025, the Welsh Government officially awarded a subsidy worth £205 million to Cardiff Airport, which £20 million already allocate to be spent during the current financial year. The full amount would be phased over 10 years. Sorry, guys, just one moment. Yeah, it was who I thought it was. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to double check it was who I thought it was. Okay. Bristol Westport Spectre argued the investment amounts to a subsidy of £71.50 per passenger, and that the taxpayer would be paying for the people to go on holiday from Cardiff Airport. It will claim that passengers and airlines will be drawn away from Bristol Airport by means that they were anti-competitive. Is it normally? I would say it's normally which airport is closer, to be fair there. Welsh Government has previously said defend the legal challenge by Bristol Airport, said it would fight for the ability to invest in carpet airports. Long prosperity and shape its economic destiny there. Interesting. 4 people have been charged with murder of a 17-year-old in Wales there as well. MPs urge government to name steak knife as a signal to other rogue agents in Northern Ireland there as well. Got about 7 minutes here. Let's just have a quick look at some other stories here. Don't normally go to this website, but we'll have a quick look at them in there. I'll come to that in just a moment, Viper Scott. Let's just have a quick look at Euronews, see what they're saying here. Russia must be forced in concessions as envoy talks grow. An exclusive interview on Europe Today, the EU's chief diplomat says the Kremlin is not talking the Ukrainian talks seriously as Brussels ponders appointment to a special envoy to represent the 27 at the negotiating table. Yeah, I think they should have someone on the negotiating table on behalf of the European Union. And yeah, this idea Russia must be forced in concessions. This is what needs to happen. There needs to be forced concessions, and Europe needs to do more to choke off supplies coming out of Russia. We need to stop relying on things coming out of them as well. And I also think countries, some of the countries in Europe that are still aiding and abetting Russia in some way, shape, or forms, I think they need to face face some pressure, as political pressure as well from the EU. I think that really needs to happen as well. I think we need to see a lot of that. I know, yeah, there's been some, obviously, a lot of shadow fleets, if that's the word, have been seized. Quite a few have been seized in parts, but we need to do more. We need to really choke the life out of them there. Centre left, Antonio Sergo wins Portuguese election runoff there. Tehran targets top reformists, tightening grip as nuclear talks resume. What they got? My childhood close ally kidnapped. We know about that story. What to know about Meta's trial over child sexual exploitation claims. Train striking in Spain forces hundreds of cancellations there as well. Some of the stories there from Euro News. Got about 5 minutes left here. Hello, Independent. Are you going to work today? It's loading up now. While it's loading up, thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat. Or how the DPR, and for Ollie too, and the duck. Yes, for the duck there. Thank you again for another £2 super chat just for the goal. Thank you there. Really appreciate it. One less to get to the goal. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you, Viper Scott. If anyone else can help contribute 2 more super chats to the goal before we end, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Viper Scott. That's very, very kind of you. A delivery? No, it's not a delivery. Is Starmer in the Epstein files? He has rent boy issues with David King. I don't think Starmer's in the Epstein files. Not that I'm aware of, David. Good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. There. Let's have a look at the Independent here, guys. Let's see what they're saying here. Sadiq Khan says his ultimate goal is to reverse Brexit. That's the front of UK politics there. Well, not the front of it, but obviously another key 8 step downs. What else is there here? Morgan Sweeney. Councils warn they may need emergency bailout despite new funding. Yeah, this is something I've spoken about before here. UK councils warn they need emergency bailout despite new government funding. Many councils say it will be difficult to set a balanced budget. Almost half of local authorities responsible for delivering crucial social care services are bracing themselves to seek emergency financial assistance from the government within the next 3 years, a new survey reveals. This stark projection signals a deep crisis for essential public services, threatening to undermine support for the most vulnerable. Despite recent increases in funding for stability offered by 3-year financial settlements, Council reports that escalating demand and rising operational costs are expected to jeopardise frontline provisions. Local Government Association warns this will inevitably impact local services, reduce investment in preventative measures, and intensify pressure on those who heavily rely on local support, leaving communities feeling negligent. The LGA survey found that 34% of all councils across the country have either already applied for or are likely to seek exceptional financial support in at least one financial year up to 2028-2029. Jeez. Oh, that's really bad. Really, really bad. Treats for the Quackers, says Mel there. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mel. Very, very kind of you there. Reganelite, can you do a live with Jao about Portugal? Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. When Jao is ready to do a live stream with me, I'm more than happy to do one with him. I just need to get in contact with him outside of just a YouTube chat. I'm more than happy to set something up with him. I definitely want to get him on for a chat at some point in the future. Definitely want to do that for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mel, and thank you, Viper Scott, for the super chats for helping me reach today's goal. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for your help there. Confetti, yep, Confetti. Sorry, I don't have the same Confetti as Graham uses, but thank you guys so much for it there. I appreciate the support. Let's have a quick look at this. The figures rise sharply to 47% and focus solely on upper tier councils, which bear the primary responsibility for adult and children's social care there. EFS mechanisms allow councils to cover day-to-day expenditures through borrowing or by utilising capital receipts, with some granted permission to exceed the standout 4.99% council tax increase limit. The government is due to publish its final statement for councils for 2026-2027 today. Many local authorities fear their finances will be hit by proposed changes to funding allocation following a renewed aimed at redirecting resources to poorer areas. They're not getting enough funding. They're not getting enough funding, guys. They're just not getting enough funding, which is very, very frustrating. At least you didn't misspell duck, says Mel. A dock. I slipped and almost sent £100, says Mel. Oh, that would have been a shame. No, honestly, seriously, that's what you didn't need to. Honestly, thank you, Mel. You honestly appreciate it. In all seriousness, for some reason, it's not refreshing now. I wanted to look at 1 or 2 more stories, but it looks like it's playing up here. Yeah, we'll have to leave it there because it's playing up, unfortunately, there. And it's 12 o'clock anyway, guys. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came along this morning. Thank you guys for all your comments. It's really appreciated. Again, a quick reminder, I will be looking to, in terms of plans for next week, because I've not got any live streams for you guys, I'm planning to record a bunch of, I think what I'll do is record a bunch of videos. I'll do what I used to do last year, which I did stop doing, was recording a bunch of videos. So that's probably what I'm going to try and do between Monday and Friday for you guys, so you guys have something there, because obviously I don't have live streams. I can't do any live streams next week at all. Maybe Friday evening, but that's a stretch at best. But yeah, I'll see what I can do there. And yes, I'll be live again tonight at 8 o'clock. So if you guys can join me for that, feel free to do so. But before you join that, obviously do check out Dave McGinnis's live stream later on at 4 o'clock, guys, if you can as well. So thank you guys again all for coming. Thank you guys for all your comments. Enjoy the rest of your days, whatever you guys are doing. Stay safe. Take a brolly. Make sure you wear a rain hat or something if you're going out today, because yeah, the weather's not going to be very nice for the next couple of days, guys. But on your way out, if you can, for me, please hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, do check out Rumble and Patreon as well. There's free content to check out on there as well. You can also join Discord community for free and check out some of the other YouTubers. Links are in the description below as well. So thank you all again, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.